Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Cyclones TV. I'm your host Nick Durst. Last week the Cyclones took on the Staten Island Yankees, the State College Spikes, and the Hudson Valley Renegades. Let's take a look and see how the team fared. On Monday, August 10th, all-star pitcher Gabby Almonte was amazing, pitching 8 shutout innings and striking out 7 while only allowing 2 hits to lead the Cyclones to a 7-0 victory over the Staten Island Yankees. This was the Cyclones' 100th win over the Yankees in franchise history. David Thompson and Jeff Deal each had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, and Vinny Siena and Emmanuel Zabala each drove in a run. On Tuesday, August 11th, the Cyclones fell short of sweeping the rival Yankees as they dropped an extra inning affair by a 10-7 score in 12 innings. Zach Matthew had a double and a home run while picking up 5 RBIs. Vinny Siena had a stolen base and also drove in 2 runs. Wednesday, August 12th, it was Way Back Wednesday, and this night was all about 90s Nickelodeon. There were a bunch of 90s themed competitions happening throughout the night, including Moonshoe Race Around the Bases, Worst AOL Screen Name Competition, Salt and Pepper Push It Go-Kart Race, Bop It Competition, Dumb and Dumber Return the Suitcase Race, Uma Thurman Dance-Off, Tommy Pickles Eating Competition, and a Name That Boy Band Lyric Competition. As far as the game was concerned, despite a valiant offensive rally in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Cyclones fell to the State College Spikes Tuesday night by a close score of 7-6. Emmanuel Zabala had 2 RBIs and Jose Garcia added another, as David Thompson scored twice. On Thursday, August 13th, pitcher Kevin Canelone pitched 7 strong innings, giving up 2 runs and struck out 11. However, the Cyclones could not muster any offense, and the team fell 2-0 to the State College Spikes. On Friday, August 14th, the Cyclones lost 9-0 to the State College Spikes. Brandon Calpay had a glove flip to Alfredo Reyes, who threw it over to Zach Matthew for an incredible double play. On Saturday, August 15th, the Cyclones lost 7-1 to the Hudson Valley Renegades. On Sunday, August 16th, the Cyclones were defeated 3-2 in 11 innings by the Hudson Valley Renegades. Andrew Church pitched 6 2/3 innings. He gave up 2 hits and struck out 3 while only allowing 1 unearned run. Alfredo Reyes made a web gem play as he was deep in the hole and threw the ball cross-body to first base, and Zach Matthew made a nice stretch at first to get the runner out. Now let's take a look at the Brooklyn Cyclones Player of the Week. From August 9th through August 16th, Gabby Almonte made 2 starts. He pitched 12 2/3 innings. He only gave up 6 hits and he struck out 12 while only allowing 3 earned runs. Cyclones relief pitcher PJ Conlon has been lights out this year with an ERA of 0. Earlier today, I was able to catch up with him to speak about his season so far. Take a look. All right, PJ, you were born in Ireland. You're looking to become the first major leaguer since 1945 to make the major leagues. It's born in Ireland. What would that mean to you if you made the major leagues?
I mean, that would be a huge honor, you know. Coming from Ireland, not many people play baseball, and I was lucky enough to move to California when I was 2 and just picked up a baseball and kind of fell in love with the game. So that would mean a lot to me if that ended up happening.
And your father played soccer in California in college. How come you never took up any interest in soccer?
I tried. I mean, they put me in soccer when I was young and it just didn't work out. I mean, I'm not huge on running and just not very skilled with my feet. So those 2 things with soccer, wasn't too successful with that.
All right, you picked up baseball. You're very successful so far. This season you have a 0 ERA. How has that been possible? How have you been able to just dominate both lefties and righties?
I mean, just kind of going out and doing what I always try to do, which is mix speeds. You know, I don't throw very hard, so I kind of rely on keeping guys off balance, and I've been able to do that this year. I've been able to go out and be able to throw strikes with all of my pitches most of the time, and it's just worked out for me, and I've been lucky to have great defense behind me. They made some great plays.
And in college, you were a starter. How have you been able to adjust to the bullpen, not knowing when you're going to pitch each day?
My freshman year in college, I started off the year as a reliever, so I've had a little bit of experience with that. And, LaRoche has helped me out, just really, giving me, the right mindset. You know, with him being a big league reliever, he's helped me out a lot, and he kind of lets me know which days I'll be throwing, so I have a little bit of heads up. And but I've had a little bit of experience with it before, so it's not entirely new. You know, being a starter, I might warm up a little bit longer than the other relievers, but it's not too bad.
You mentioned Coach LaRoche. Have you asked him about the EFIS pitch, the lob at all?
We've asked him about it, like how he kind of did it, and he said the guys higher up in the organization, like the coordinator and stuff, would not be happy if they found out he was starting to teach the EFIS. So he's kind of keeping a secret, but we're trying to learn it.
All right, and people have said that you're one of the best accounts to follow on Twitter as far as the team goes. One of the things we saw is that when you were warming up for your first professional start, you were attacked by a pigeon. Care to shed any light on that?
Yeah, just going into the night, I knew I was going to pitch, and so I already had like the butterflies, was a little excited, and I got on the mound in the bullpen, started throwing a couple pitches, and a pigeon like started flying towards me. And, I just kind of like took a little step to the right thinking he was just going to fly right by me, but he stayed right in my face. And I got really nervous at that point, and I started running around, and he started flying after me. So that's something I will not forget, for a long time to come, is that the first time I was going to come into a professional game, a pigeon full-on attacked me in the bullpen. So it's a nice little story to have.
Now let's take a look at the Cyclones' upcoming schedule. On August 19th, the Cyclones return to action after the All-Star break, and they take on the Lowell Spinners. They also play them the next day on August 20th as well. August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd over the weekend, the team will be taking on the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Now let's take a look around the Mets organization. The Savannah Sad-Nats are 70 and 48 overall and in first place in the South Atlantic Southern League Division. The team has won 13 straight and 19 of their last 20. Former Brooklyn Cyclone Michael Katz is batting .342 with 6 RBIs and 4 runs scored in his last 10 games. The St. Lucie Mets are 60 and 59. Dominic Smith went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs as the Mets beat the Bradenton Marauders on Sunday. Jay Kubler picked up the win, his third of the season. The Binghamton Mets are 65 and 54. Gavin Cecchini is batting .316 with 7 home runs, 51 RBIs, 25 doubles, 61 runs scored, and 137 hits. He leads the Eastern League in average and hits. The Las Vegas 51s are 66 and 56. They are in first place in the Pacific Coast League Pacific Southern Division. Eric Campbell is batting .379 with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 6 stolen bases in 20 games this season. The first place New York Mets are 63 and 55. They have a 4.5 game lead over the Washington Nationals in the NL East. They've been led by DeGrom at pitching, as Jacob DeGrom is 11 and 6 with a 2.03 ERA, and he has 152 strikeouts on the season. New York native and Cyclones starting pitcher Tyler Bradama has been dominant so far this season as he leads the New York Penn League with strikeouts. Take a look at what he had to say about his season so far. All right, Tyler, you're here at the Cyclones this season. When you were drafted and you found out you were going to be able to stay in New York where you're from, how'd you feel?
I was very excited. It was a 50-50 chance with the 2 New York teams whether or not I would stay in New York, and I was lucky to get drafted out of one of them. So I was happy. I know I grew up a Yankee fan, but I'm for sure a Mets fan now. It's a nice change of pace. I know everything there really is to know in the organization, and I don't really know anything about the Yankees anymore. So it's a nice change. But I'm happy to be in New York. I get to have my family at the games. I had 30 plus people at my first couple starts, and even my away games I had people there. So it's a nice change.
How do you like Brooklyn, just living in Brooklyn right now?
I love it. I've been on Long Island my whole life, or most of my entire life. So never really got to experience the city. When you're so close to it, you don't really go as often as most people say you do. So living in here, it's a nice change. You get to see the experience. You get to see the city that never sleeps all the time. So it's cool.
You currently lead the New York Penn League in strikeouts. Have you always considered yourself a power pitcher?
I was definitely a power pitcher in college. My numbers were pretty ridiculous my senior year. My strikeouts were very high. I didn't actually know that I was leading them at the time. But I haven't really been a power pitcher. It's more I hit my spots when I need to, and the strikeouts just come. I'm trying to be more of a ground ball pitcher, trying to get my outs quicker, try to keep my pitch count down, and try and get my innings up as much as possible. But no, it's cool. It's a nice feeling.
And have you been able to dominate both lefties as well as righties this season?
My changeup has been that complete factor there. I've also been locating my slider, trying to get it the back foot to lefties, and again away with the righties. But changeup has been the ultimate fact. It's the hardest pitch to hit in baseball when located the right way, and it's become definitely an X factor for myself.
How has pitching coach Dave LaRoche helped you this season?
He's unbelievable. He's a very laid-back pitcher coach. He'll throw in his advice and whatnot when needs to be. He gave me a little critique on my footwork with my last couple outings after the groin tightness or whatever, so we tried to fix that. He's fun to talk to. He's got a lot of experience, and he's been through pretty much everything you can do in baseball, so it's nice to have around.
And have you asked him to teach you the famous Ephus pitch, the lob?
No, I have not. We saw him actually doing it in the bullpen. It's probably about a week ago, and he was still throwing strikes with it. It was very, very impressive. So I might try and play around with that. He told me to do it my last start. He didn't want to get fired. So.
And any personal goals for the rest of the season?
I want to win this. I want to win this bad. I want a ring here. I want us to make the playoffs and get a push. You know, it's if we do it the right way, and we only have to play 4 games because it's best of 3 in 2 sets. So I'm hoping that we make a little run, we take the division, and we go right into the playoffs.
All right, thank you for your time. Best of luck rest of the season.
Thank you.
This week we have a new segment for you. It's called Beyond Baseball with Brian, a member of our media relations team here with the Brooklyn Cyclones. Take a look.
I'm here with Jeff Deal, Cyclones utility man, and we're going to get to know him a little bit. Now, Jeff, this is your 2nd season in Brooklyn. Tell us a couple of the things that you like most about playing in Brooklyn, being in New York.
Just the atmosphere, just the crowd during the game, and I mean that's the main thing. It's just the atmosphere playing at MCU Park every day. It's awesome.
I'm here with Brandon Calpe, shortstop, second baseman from Wailuku, if I'm saying that correctly.
Maui, the beautiful Hawaii ne.
I know that the food's a little different in Hawaii. People don't know that much about it, so why don't you tell us your favorite traditional Hawaiian dish?
Favorite dish, huh? We have this thing called poi. It's just Hawaiian potato. It's mashed up. It's like pudding, and then we have pig. We cook it up underneath like with stones underground and stuff. It's kind of like a luau. You guys heard about a luau? So you go to like a luau, and it's what you do is just toss leaves on the rocks, man. And you just cook it underground.
Now, you're from Rhode Island. You're a New England guy. Now, what's the first thing you do when you go back home to Rhode Island?
First thing I'll do is I'll go see all my family. I haven't seen them. I mean, I was down in Florida in mid-February, so I mean I've been away for about 6 months now. So that's the first thing I want to do.
Would you call yourself a surfer?
Not a surfer. I bodyboard, but I mean, if you guys don't know the difference, then yeah, I guess.
Only if we don't know the difference, then it's the same thing. All right, well now, why don't you tell us something about Hawaii that we wouldn't know or think about when we think about Hawaii?
I mean, of course, first thing everybody think about is just a vacation spot, but you know, I was born and raised there, and you know, I didn't grow up, you know, with the most money. You know, I mean, we live in a place where milk is like $7 a gallon, so you know, it was rough. Gas was expensive growing up.
It's a lot more than what we think it is.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for the most part, now that I play, you know, baseball here, I go home. My off season is definitely a vacation now. You know, I make sure I spend it just like that. And when I go home, I mean, nobody treats me any different. I'm still just Brandon, who born and raised, grew up in Maui, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
If you weren't a pro baseball player, what do you think you would be?
If I wasn't I'd probably still be just doing something with baseball. I don't teaching, coaching, something. But I definitely want to stay around.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you weren't a professional baseball player, what do you think your occupation would be?
It'd be a rough tie between male professional model or, I don't know, probably a fireman. You know, I'd love to be a fireman. I wanted to go to college for fire science.
No doubt that we would see Brandon Calpe in the fireman's calendar modeling. That's how you combine the two of them. Who's the funniest player, in your opinion, inside this clubhouse?
Matthew, not even a question.
Funniest guy, probably Zach Matthew. Probably.
Now, if you had to pick one guy in the clubhouse who thinks he's funny, but he's not that funny, who would it be? Don't be afraid to put anybody on blast, as Jeff would say.
Man, I gotta get at the pictures on this one. I like to say Blackham, man. Blackham not funny.
Matt's not as funny as he thinks he is.
Well, I don't know if he thinks he's funny, but I just don't think he's funny.
Wait, what's the last movie you saw?
Oh, last movie, Ted 2.
All right, give me Jeff Deal's review of Ted 2.
It was funny. It's pretty good. I mean,
comparison to the first one.
Usually the second one's a little disappointing, but I wasn't disappointed at all. So, I mean, I'd recommend you go see it.
Out of 5 stars, what are we giving Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane?
5 stars? I don't know, 3, 3.5, 4. I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but 4. Give him a 4.
4 stars, Ted 2. You heard it here first. courtesy of Jeff Deal. Go see Ted 2.
On August 19th and August 20th, the Cyclones have some great promotions for you to check out. Hopefully you get a chance to see one of them at the ballpark. Wednesday, August 19th, it's Way Back Wednesday at the ballpark. All tickets are $10. It's also WWE SummerSlam night and Greg Kelly and Rosanna Scotto bobblehead night presented by MCU Park. Come early to the game and check out the celebrity softball game. Some participants include Boomer and Carton, Greg Kelly and Rosanna Scotto, former New York Met Cliff Floyd, Duke Castiglione, Mike Woods, WWE superstars Ryback, Fandango, Eva Marie, and Charlotte Flair. Thursday, August 20th, it's Pinstripe Jersey presented by Domino's Night, Italian Heritage Night, and Frank Sinatra's 100th birthday celebration. It's also Correction Officers Night. That does it for this week's episode of Cyclones TV. Be sure to stay connected with the team on social media by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Brooklyn Cyclones, liking us on Facebook, and following us on Twitter and Instagram at BK Cyclones. I'm your host, Nick Durst. Good night, Brooklyn. See you next time.